You got to deal with reality in this present duality. It's Rhyme and Reason 642.
There's a rhyme and reason for your life. There's a rhyme and reason why you're...
Hey there, Tony here, and I hope today finds you clear-headed and thinking clearly, able to reason, able to have logical brain functions. Because there's a lot of people out there that don't have all that. A friend of mine I was just talking with today, and he mentioned how somebody that he knows said these things, something along these lines. The person said, I don't want to deal with reality. In fact, I hate reality. And my wife actually said a coworker told her something very similar to that. So it seems like there's a lot of people out there who prefer their own little imaginary worlds over the reality, life going on, and they don't want to come out of those worlds either. But you know what? You got to deal with reality, whether you prefer it or not. Trouble is, there's a ginormous drug epidemic in America, in case you haven't noticed, and it's caused by many, many people, maybe millions of people, who think that the way to push reality away is to medicate it or smoke it away. But that just makes their reality a befuddled blur. That's all it does, really, for them. And then something even worse happens because other people who choose to take on the world with a clear head, you and I, we end up paying for those drugged and dull-thinking dips, either directly or indirectly. It happens. We do pay for them because the world continues to spin and time continues to tick away. And just because you're baked or bombed or high or hallucinating doesn't change that one proton, one electron, one neutron, one iota, one nanosecond. It doesn't change any of that. So what we all end up with is a country and a world that's increasingly unable to think and reason. That's one of the big reasons why I call this show, if you want to call it a show, it's why I call what I do Rhyme and Reason. Because there is a rhyme and reason to life, but you need to be able to reason and not just think in terms of, isn't it wonderful and let's all just sit around and recite poetry and smoke stuff that makes us forget all about reality. That doesn't work, okay? If you're not able to think and reason, you're going to find yourself dealing with, what do they call it? An opioid crisis. Yeah, things like that. Or people living in makeshift tents under bridges, smoking pot, drinking booze, vaping, shooting up, and urinating and defecating on themselves and everything around them. Yeah, that really and truly does happen. It's happening right here in the shadow of Pikes Peak. We see these people, we drive by them all the time. They're everywhere. There's an endless parade of them in front of some nice establishments right over here in Colorado Springs. So, yeah, it has gotten that bad where places that should be beautiful are turning into trash dumps. They're just turning into that. It is turning into that here. Not everywhere, not every single part, but in some of the places where people, when they're just driving into the city from other places, they see that. It's one of the first things they see. It's ridiculous. Anyway, so not handling that, not dealing with that the right way, we just have become a nation of enablers. Because when you call these things just social issues, you ignore human nature. Ignore it. When you consistently provide bags of free goodies at missions, and I see this every week, it's uncanny how many more of those missions that you have to start. And they have them all around the city. And I see the people lining up to go in there and get their little baggie full of I don't know what, but it's all free to them. Somebody's paying for it. You are that somebody. I am that somebody. Any of us who still try to do our best to work hard and pay our taxes, etc. Anyway, like I said, I can see it here, up close and personal almost, right here in Colorado Springs. I've seen it get worse and worse over the past 6 years that we've been living here. And this beautiful city it should be one of the most beautiful places, period, because it's got Pikes Peak, America's mountain, right here. It's got it right here. From when you're walking around downtown, from just about any major intersection, you look west and there's Pikes Peak, looming right there, big, huge, beautiful. That's where they wrote, Purple Mountain Majesty and all that stuff. So anyway, it should be beautiful here. It should be, and yet it's getting less and less so. And it really makes me sad to think about how, most people, they don't care about those people on the streets. If you're giving to those people on the streets, you don't care about them. You're trying to make yourself feel good. That's what that is. Because you can't donate those kind of problems away. People try to donate it away. They keep doing that. If donations worked, you'd think it would get less, but there's more of them. So it tends to work the opposite of what you would think. Well, we don't have to listen to what God says about these things, but it would be better if we did, because then we'd know more about human nature, and then we'd know how to beat this world.
Every time you turn your back, there's someone there to pick your pockets. So you see, there's more to life, more than love and rockets. Do with reality, you know that you can. You have to remember there's a higher plan. That's the only way to beat the world at its own game. Yeah, every time you make your mark, there's somebody there to erase it. People say that's just the way it is, and boy, you better face it. But you believe there's gotta be a better side, so don't give up on it until you've tried. That's the only way to beat the world at its own game. Come on and beat the world and try to live again. Don't regret the time that you spent. Beat the world and try to leave a bruise. You need to know the life that you choose will beat the world. Yeah, every time you read the morning news, the paper signs another killing. It's beyond my power to comprehend how the ticket of life could be filling. Banish the dark side, welcome the light, then you win the never-ending fight. That's the only way to beat the world at its own game. Come on and beat the world and try to leave it dead. Don't regret the time that you spent. Come on and beat the world and try to leave a bruise. You need to know the life that you choose will beat the world, yeah. Oh, can you imagine if we were all singing the same song? Would we still be living this way? Still be living this way. Still be living this way. Yeah, deal with reality. You know that you can. You have to remember there's a higher a plan. That's the only way to feed the world at its own game. Come on and feed the world and try to live again. But don't regret the time that you spent. Come on and feed the world and try to leave a bruise. You need to know the life that you choose will feed the world. Feed the world and try to leave again. But don't regret the time that you spent. Come on and feed the world and try to leave a bruise. You need to know the life that you choose will feed the world. Feed the world and try to leave a dent. But don't regret the time that you spent. Come on and feed the world and try to leave a bruise. You need to know the life that you choose will feed the world.
Yeah, there you go. Deal with reality the best that you can. And the best that you can is when you're dealing with it from God's perspective, when you're leaning on His understanding and not your own. And, you can deal with this reality in this world however you want. You know, we still live in a free enough country where you want to be a drug addict and live on the street, live under a bridge, walk around with a sleeping bag over your head and smell like urine and manure. If you want to walk around like that, apparently you still can. Matter of fact, people will give you stuff for doing that. People will give you free stuff all day long. All you got to do is walk around, smell bad, look bad, and act crazy. And people will give you stuff. They'll give you free stuff all day long. That's what happens. And it should be no surprise when you give more people that you get more people like that who want more of that. Yeah. And it seems to be happening, so I think it bears me out on this. But one recommendation I have for you is to stay clear-headed, okay? If you're already clear-headed, stay that way. Please, we need more clear-headed, reasonable, logical thinking people, not just people who go around feeling. We got to feel for these people because we don't know their story. We don't know their whole story. You think you don't have some bad stories in your life, and yet you're a clear thinker, right? You're a logical thinker. You're a hard worker. Well, they're different. Yeah, they're different. They're urinating and defecating on themselves. You don't want to be that, do you? And you don't want to help somebody just do that, right? I hope you don't. Because this world is probably going to rev up its rebellion against God. And when I say that, it's already started. They're revving up the rebellion. But it's going to be, I think, I'm believing that it's going to get there faster than it ever has in my lifetime. And you need to stay clear-headed because you're not going to be able to drug or needle or smoke away the consequences of a world that is in rebellion against God. So, there's my somber story with a song of beating the world at its own game. You want any chance of doing that, you got to be on God's team. You got to be with the one who can help you do it, the only one who can help you do it. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. And He'll be there for you. He never leaves you nor forsakes you, and you can have eternal life. That being said, I know most people who listen to this podcast already know that. Go share that with somebody else today then. And if you don't already know that, you need to look into it. See if I'm right. If I'm wrong, you show me where I'm wrong. Prove me wrong on this. Because if I'm wrong about this, I'm one of the biggest fools who ever lived. I've been out here telling people for decades that there is a real God. He's really not us, and that He's going to judge the world one day. I've been saying that for a long, long time. I don't want to keep on saying it. If I'm wrong, show me where I'm wrong, okay? Till next time, this is Tony from TonyFunderburk.com, where you should hustle on over there, clear-headed, logically thinking, reasonably prepared with a credit card to go on to TonyFunderburk.com on the merch tab, click on that t-shirt that says, "Life has rhyme and reason because God made you."
There's a rhyme and